Palestinian doctors have discovered a mass grave in the courtyard of Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza City. 9 bodies believed to be of hospital patients have been found so far. Doctors say they witnessed the killings outside the main gate of the hospital. It's one of several mass graves discovered on the grounds of Al-Shifa in the last few days. Meanwhile, at least 5 people have been killed and several others injured in an Israeli bombing in central Gaza. A family home in Al-Nusayrat refugee camp was targeted, and rescue workers are still trying to reach people trapped under the rubble. The injured have been taken to a makeshift hospital for treatment. In the Magazi refugee camp, Palestinians are sifting through the wreckage after an Israeli strike reduced their homes to rubble. Residents say they were sleeping before being woken up by a knock at the door and told to evacuate in preparation for an Israeli strike. Let's get the latest with Hani Mahmoud, who's in Rafah for us. Hani, what more details are you hearing for us about this new mass grave that's been found in Al-Shifa? What do we know about the victims?
With more tragedies keep unfolding from Shifa hospital complex, and it's just important to remind our viewers that within the past month, the Israeli military stormed the Shifa hospital after it did back in December in 2023, but the one in March was so aggressive it led to a complete destruction of the health facilities, including all of its specialized buildings and medical warehouse, in addition to the medical supplies and the medical equipment inside the hospital. But the tragedies that we're looking at right now is that more people who were under the rubble, and the fact that many of them at the beginning of last week, when the Israeli military pulled out, were found and tied. Their hands were tied behind their back and were buried in a massive grave. But as of today, doctors keep digging and looking for bodies from under the rubble. It is believed that there were close to 500 people who were inside the hospital. Those were civilian, with women and children and elderly, were inside the hospital sheltering. And what the doctors did today, as they were digging, they were able to remove 9 bodies, largely decomposed. It is believed they've been in a massive grave for the past weeks. Doctors also got to the point where it was extremely risky to continue digging for bodies under the rubble, or remove these bodies from these massive graves because of the presence of attack drones and surveillance drones. So they seized the operations and left the area. The entire Shifa complex turned into a graveyard, as described by a top UNRWA officials in Gaza, who referred to Gaza as a place of healing that turned into a massive graveyard as the Israeli military stormed it within the past months. And we believe, according to the reports that are emerging from Gaza and the Shifa hospital, there are more people still missing and trapped and possibly in massive grave. They will be removed within the coming days.
Some grim discoveries, no doubt, there in Al-Shifa. What else has been happening across the Gaza Strip, Hani? What areas have the latest Israeli airstrikes targeted?
Well, the Israeli airstrikes and artillery shelling continue to pound across the central area, mainly a Nusayrat refugee camp. That's the new block of the refugee camp, the northern part of the central area. And the southern area of Wadi Gaza, the area was designated as a safe zone for people coming from the northern part and Gaza City, displaced families to move into, just find themselves right now under the heavy bombardment and artillery shelling. 5 more people reported killed, as more residential homes being targeted and destroyed, and the vast majority of the infrastructure and public facilities. Meanwhile, in the northern part of Gaza, that has been under heavy bombardments since the past 6 months. More of the residential homes and public facilities in Jabalia refugee camp and also in Jabalia town have been targeted and destroyed. And the fact that we're seeing this sheer level of destruction caused by the intense bombing campaign is the #1 reason why we've seen more people missing and trapped under the rubble, because it takes really long time, and with the unavailability of the of tools and equipment. It's hard to remove these bodies right away. So when they are found and removed, they are largely deceased.
Hani, thank you for the update. That's Al Jazeera's Hani Mahmoud reporting there live from Rafah, southern Gaza.